Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to Keto with Cast Iron. I'm your host, Graham, and today we are going to make this delicious, yummy dish. Basically, it's very cheap steak with some onions on top. I start off by putting some oil in the pan, and then I chopped up my red onions. You can use any color or kind of onions you want. Always medium heat with cast iron. You don't want to go too over the top. And here I've used a little bit of, I believe I used almond oil this time around. And I just kind of saute them and make them so they sweat and get all nice and yummy and pretty. And yeah. So the thing with cooking keto, really the trick is to make it all from scratch. And just because you make it all from scratch doesn't mean it's going to take all day to cook. As a matter of fact, this thing here only took, I think, about 10 minutes. I love using I can't say it right. Himalayan pink salt. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad. I do that for both sides. And I also use this McCormick's Applewood barbecue rub. I really like this one, and they also make one, I think it's the bourbon is what they call it. But I'm always mixing it up. I always add different seasonings to the steak. Here's another one. This is the Montreal steak seasoning. This is also really good. And you can use whatever you have on hand. Whatever suits your taste buds. We just found this. This is bacon salt. And oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Now you think, oh my gosh, you're adding too much salt to the meat. No, not really. And I'm patting it in. Don't rub, just pat the flavoring in. As you can tell, there's also a paper towel down underneath them. That's so that they can be a little on the dry side. You don't want to have too much moisture or water on your steaks. When you go to add them to your hot oil, they tend to sizzle and do a lot of popping and splattering and that kind of stuff if you have them too wet. But I'm just going to go ahead and season both sides of the steak, and just like I did for the other side. And like I said, you can do anything you want. So I've changed this up a little bit. I don't normally do a voiceover for these, but I thought, you know what? Might as well. It would be kind of fun to do a voiceover. Haven't done one in a very long time. And so yeah, you get the voiceover. Yay! All right, let's go check on those onions. I got a feeling those onions are going to be darn close to ready. Oh, not quite yet. They're almost there. Getting a little bit of brown spots, but still some raw onion floating around. I don't know if you noticed this cast iron pan that I'm using today. This is a new one for me. I just discovered this one at a garage sale, and it was completely rusted through, and I stripped it, and I went ahead and re-seasoned it. So now I'm moving my onions out of the way. And you can add garlic to it. You can add all kinds of other seasonings and that kind of stuff to it. But I figured the steak had plenty. And I'm going to grab the oil here. And I'm going to add a little bit more oil to the bottom of it. Wait a few seconds. And then let that get nice and toasty warm. And again, like I said, you don't want to put your cast iron up too high on your stove. You can actually do some damage to it, and if it's too hot, it's very dangerous, very, very dangerous. It'll warp, crack, all kinds of things can happen. Just like when you're done, just leave it on your stove to cool down a little bit before you decide to take it over to the sink and rinse it out. But when you do take it over to the sink and rinse it out, make sure you're using really hot water, especially if it's still warm. Yes, definitely wash your hands off all that raw meat on your hands. And now we're just going to go ahead and let it cook for a little bit. I want to brown both sides nicely. And I want to make sure, not quite yet, almost. I want to make sure that the steak is nicely got a nice brown and a crispness to it before I decide to, there we go. That's much better. Yeah. And it's okay for steak, as long as it's beef, to be a little pink on the inside, or a lot pink. It's totally up to your preference. And I'm going to go ahead and add my onions back to it. Make sure I get every single one of them. Oh, I missed a bunch of them. Oh, I'm bad. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my cover on it. And I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit. And the reason I'm doing this is because dinner isn't going to occur. Oh, I turned it off. Just turn it down a little bit. Dinner isn't going to occur for a while yet. So, all right, let's go ahead and set it aside, and I will plate it up and show you what it looks like. Very simple, not a whole lot to it. Add a little bit of grass-fed butter, and you are good to go. All right, my friends, have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you.